Corruption is running through this system. This goes not just for the US, but countries all around the world. And today I'm going to be talking to you about false flags, how they are used to push the agenda of this political system. The politicians are complicit with these plans. The media is basically a propaganda arm for these individuals as well. And the elite control these individuals like puppets, and they are simply being used to do their bidding. So the false flags I'm going to talk to you today are basically a way for them to continue on their agenda to keep the people in fear. Let's go into this. Senator Lindsey Graham said that nukes in the hands of terrorists could result in a bomb coming to Charleston Harbor. So here he is in South Carolina saying that if they don't attack Syria and Iran, that nukes are going to go off in South Carolina. Now that is fear-mongering, and that is by definition terrorism, and that's the kind of thing that they set up. They put the people into this fear zone, and then of course they're going to vote. Of course they're going to let them go ahead with all this madness. I'm going to show you how the bribes are there publicly, and they are allowed to just go ahead with it, because as long as you keep the people scared, as long as you keep doing dangerous things to them, everything is going to go according to plan. What about this? It took place in 1933. Germany's Reichstag building set on fire, and it has been reported that Hitler used this to set up his enabling act, which allowed him to officially become a dictator, which he promised would be only for a short period of time so that he can just fix everything. And look at what happened. They started euthanizing. They challenged people. Then it became, went to a different level beyond that. So here you have the basically a false flag set up in order to take the liberties of the people. This has been done in the US. It has been done in countries all around the world. Let me go on quickly. What about the Gulf? The truth about Tonkin here. This is basically the Gulf of Tonkin, and this was the event that led into the Vietnam War. And of course that was a very long, drawn out war. Many people died so brutally in this war, and of course it was nothing but the military industrial complex gaining so much money off of this, because it was one of this, the same type of war like Iraq and Afghanistan that's happening now, where they're basically just able to continue pumping money into this, and it'll never end, of course. But what happened there in that Gulf of Tonkin episode? Well, in the Pentagon Papers, which was published in 1971 by the New York Times, they actually went into it and found that the Gulf of Tonkin incident never occurred. They used this as a pretext to go into war. Unfortunately, that never happened, and they really basically faked this, and that was all they needed for the president to give the authority to go in and begin the slaughter. This is Rebuilding America's Defenses, Strategy, Forces, and Resources for a New Century. You may have seen this. This is the PNAC document. It's talked about many times. And look at the way that they lead up to this. And what they said here is, further, the process of transformation, even if it brings revolutionary change, is likely to bring along one absent some catastrophic and catalyzing event like a new Pearl Harbor. Here they are right away suggesting a new Pearl Harbor event. If they were to get a new Pearl Harbor event, then they could have what they wanted. They are basically throwing it right in our face. This is a public document right from their website, and they're saying that they'll get a Pearl Harbor, and then they get what they want. They've always done this. And this is, for those who don't know, PNAC involves Rumsfeld, it involves Cheney, so many names throughout. You can get this, of course, I'll put it in the description as I do all my videos. Lobbyist says Israel should create a false flag to start a war with Iran. This is now getting so bold-faced, I can't believe it myself, but they're actually saying that they should create a false flag to get into war. They're saying that if that's what it takes, then do it. As long as you have that pretext to go into war. This is unjust. And this is the kind of thing that is allowed to go on because people are not involved with the politics. They leave it up to the politicians who are being controlled by bankers, who are being controlled by multinational institutions. And then, of course, they don't have the individual's best interests in mind. That's why we have to take the power away from them and bring the power back to the people. That is how it's intended to be. That's what a democracy is, and that is especially what a republic is for those in the US. That's what I'm talking about. And now the bribes is where I really show you how this all takes place and how they can actually go ahead with this. Because you're not talking about a $5,000 bribe or $10,000 bribe right here, and they still have kept this up, which is impressive. But right on the U.S. Department of Defense's website, one day before 9/11, one day, they made a speech and said that $2.3 trillion in transactions are lost. The day before, they even made it public. They put it right on their website. It's still up there today. That $2.3 trillion have been lost. And now that's what they're saying. But of course, they're not lost. That was given to individuals. That was a bribe. That was a payoff. And of course, then the Pentagon itself, where those files were stored, was blown up. It just so happened to be right at that spot where they landed was the location where those files were stored. So, seems a little fishy to me, and that's up to you. I'll leave it up to you. So, I want you guys to all get on the Money GPS Insiders. If you have been following this channel, there was a few days here I haven't posted. I've been working on the Money GPS Insiders. I've been working on the consultations. Those take priority, and I try to really get out a video every single day if I can. If you want to get on the Insiders, basically that is an extension of the work I've done in my book, and I can get to you. I've gotten a lot of positive feedback. I want that to continue to come on. If you want to get on, basically that's at themoneygps.com. You scroll down to the bottom, fill in your email address, and you will get occasional emails from me, and they are short and sweet emails, all text-based, and you can get on there and learn a few things. You can then forward them off to your friends, do whatever you want with them, and I hope that you'll join the others on there.